Welcome to Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, alongside Smithson Valley head coach Larry Hill. Coming up, we look ahead to the Rangers' 31st all-time meeting against Canyon. But first, we look back at the Rangers game from this past week, the 26-6 opener. Tough loss to Clemens, 15-7 at Ranger Stadium. Coach, that was an intense game for all 48 minutes. Both defenses played their hearts out in that game. It was a scoreless affair going into the fourth quarter. Ultimately, though, you come up short. As you look back at that game, what stands out?
Well, you know, it was a very tense game, kind of a playoff atmosphere, several rounds in the playoff atmosphere setting. And, you know, we squandered some opportunities early, you know, and I think the biggest thing, you know, like most tight, tense games, you can point back to 3 or 4 plays that, you know, we come away with no points. We get a couple untimely penalties, you know, a couple of red zone opportunities where we don't score. You know, another penalty keeps their drive alive. You know, just usually in games that are that evenly matched and in that kind of atmosphere, your margin for error is pretty small. And while we did some things extremely well, we did some things, in a handful of things that turned the game. And all the credit to Clemens, but, you know, we felt like it was one that got away.
When we previewed the game last week, we spoke about just how difficult it was to run the football against Clemens. But you look at the numbers, you ran for 150 yards. You averaged about 5 yards per carry. You scored your only touchdown of the game on a running play. Only 7 points, yes. But overall, how do you feel as if your offense fared against Clemens' tough defense?
I thought we ran the ball as well as anybody, or better than anybody that's played them all year. Didn't get as many snaps in the late third and fourth quarter. They were able to possess the ball a while. We felt like there were some things going well for us in the run game. We had a hard time getting back to because we didn't have the ball. And then, as you said, there were 2 or 3 different occasions where we got some penalties, and suddenly, instead of 1st and goal at the 6, we're 1st and 25 at the 31-yard line, that kind of thing. Or instead of 2nd and 1, you know, we're 2nd and 16. So took us out of being able to do what it, as you said, had begun to go well. So, you know, come up with a million excuses, but not a single good reason. And but we did some things well, and things we can carry forward.
You go back to the game against Hendrickson and then the game against Madison, the first 3 quarters against Clemens. You went 9 straight quarters on defense, not allowing a single point. Clemens did come up with a couple of scoring plays late in the game to pull out and again win it 15-7. But overall, how pleased have you been with the play of your defense, not just in the game against the Buffaloes, but over the course of the season so
far?
I
think I've been very pleased. You know, I think our front, it all starts up front, and you know, we got some athletic kids, good playing kids up front that that are difficult to block, which, you know, frees up linebackers, safeties, or maybe hopefully puts them behind the chains where they've got to throw when everybody in the stadium knows they're going to throw, and not just on a normal down or when they want to throw. So, have been pleased. You know, we you know, you always nitpick. What can we do better? We'd like to get a few more takeaways. As we mentioned with our offense, a couple of untimely penalties that kept drives alive that otherwise would have ended. And so we're not the finished product yet in any phase of the game, but our defense is playing well.
The best way to describe 26-6A is gauntlet. Again, each week it's a battle. Just how indicative was Friday's game of what you'll see the rest of the season?
Well, yeah, there's going to be more of those, and that's just kind of how it is. And we talk about it all the time. 4 teams are going to win tonight, 4 are going to lose tonight. If we can just be one of the 4 that wins tonight, we're going to make up ground or gain ground or pull away. Or you can't look ahead, can't look back. Just got to do this type of game, and they're going to be a bunch of playoff atmosphere games. And we let the first one get away, but we've got 6 more to go.
Again, Smithson Valley came up short this past Friday in the 26-6A opener, losing to Clemens 15-7, but the Rangers did make their share of plays. Let's break down some of them in this week's Plays of the Week.
Let's take a look. Our first big play comes from our punt team. We're going to feature Chandler Cole, the arrow on the left, who's our deep snapper, and Garrett Brooks, our punter, who has the second arrow on the right. Snap comes back very clean. We rugby style punt that ball to the right. You can see it's on the ground, kept away from their returner. Mason Livingston, one of our senior outside gunners, is first to the ball. Continues to roll, ends up being a 52-yard net, and the ball is killed at the 1-yard line. Looking at it from the rear, you get a little bit better shot of how it all unfolds. Snap is spot on. You can see our snapper, Chandler Cole, and our left guard, who's Connor Hambrick. They're getting down the field first, playing with great effort. Got Trey Moore there in the middle, and Tom Zoig there to the left, and then there's Mason again on the far left. Got a lot of guys humping to get to the football, keep it out of the end zone, put them on the 1-yard line, set our defense up in great field position, making Clemens have to travel the long field. Excellent special teams play. Our next big play is a defensive play. We're going to focus on senior defensive end Tanner Hobeck's got the circle around him. The play initially, as you'll see, goes away from Tanner. They're running the ball to the right. Tanner's taking on the block of the tackle here on our left side as we look at it. He recognizes run though and folds back underneath, and when the play has to cut back to him, makes a tremendous hit on the ball carrier, stuns him, ball comes out. There's a scramble for the ball and we end up with it. You can see it a little bit better from the end zone view. There's Tanner again looking at it from the rear. Again, the ball pushes to the other side. Tanner diagnoses, and now he comes from the backside. Big hit right there. Ball's out right there. Got to scramble for the ball, and a little while later, we come away with it. Big stop by our defense. Our last big play is an offensive play. We'll focus on Greg Eggleston, who wears a lot of hats for us on this particular play. We have him aligned in the backfield as a running back. Been an explosive player all year. You can see this play is designed to go to the left. All of our linemen are blocking to the left. The handoff to Greg is to the left. You can see the Clemens Buffaloes defense is running over to the left. Greg recognizes that, makes a cut back all the way out the backside to the right, gets a good block from Jacob Fortone, who has a circle there around him, and then uses his speed to outrun him to the pylon and get a touchdown that gives us the lead there in the fourth quarter. See it pretty good from the rear, just what we're talking about. Again, the play starts left, Greg starts left with him, recognizes the reaction of the defense. There's Jacob Fortone's block on the outside linebacker there, gives Greg the edge, and now it's a foot race, and he wins most of our foot races, and he's in the end zone. And those are our plays of the week.
And then again, a wrap up on Smithson Valley's district opener against Clemens. Coming up later in the show, we look ahead to the next 26 6A game against Canyon. But coming up next at Inside Rangers Football, it's Senior Moments, Rangers Trivia, and more. We're back with more in just a moment.
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SV Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Still to come, a preview of Smithson Valley's next district game against Canyon coming up this Friday. But first, it's time for this week's Senior Moments, once again with our very own Emily Wick. Emily?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. Today I am here with Austin, Tom, and Devin. Are y'all excited to do some Rangers trivia for Senior Moments?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to let y'all know, y'all are not just playing for fun. You are playing for a piece of history. This is a piece of Rangers turf that just got replaced with our new field. So lots of memories on this. You better take it seriously and win. You ready for it?
Ready.
All right. Let's do it. So y'all ready for your first question?
Ready.
All right, this is going to be a multiple choice question. How many times can a hummingbird flap its wings in a single second? A, 20 times, B, 40 times, or C, 80 times?
C.
C is correct, 80 times a second.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
That is insane.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Do you know that hummingbirds can fly up, down, left, right, backwards, and even upside down? Pretty wild. Yeah. That's how y'all need to play out there.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Upside down.
Whichever way you can get there, right? Not including holiday colors, How many colors are in a package of M&Ms? Devin?
Red, yellow, blue, green, brown, orange.
Yes, you nailed it. Good job. If you were to add all the holiday colors there are, total, multiple choice, would there be A, 14, B, 34, or C, 22 colors? Tom?
22.
C, 22 is right. Good job.
We're a holiday company.
You know, they have Easter pastels, they have the red and green. Yeah. Next question. What were the dogs' names in Where the Red Fern Grows?
Where they red fern grows. Those are the two that hunt the raccoon, right?
Yes. You're in the right book, Devin. I think you might have read it.
How many dogs are there?
There's 2.
They're like twin dogs. And they're in the movie. They're like a hogging or something.
So it was the movie you watched, not the book you read. Anyone? Did y'all give up?
I phoned a friend.
Old Dan and Little Ann.
I was feeling Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
I kind of
Does anyone know how old Dan died?
17. How he died.
How he died. How did old Dan die? Devin?
Old age.
No. I wish.
Snake bite.
No, not a snake bite. That would have even been less tragic than what happened. Tom?
I don't know.
He's probably shot.
Sounds like stabbed.
A mountain lion got him. It was horrible. Yeah, it wasn't good. Maybe it wasn't in the movie. I don't know. Finish this song for me. If you like to talk.
2 tomatoes.
Yes, good
That's
job.
from VeggieTales.
It is VeggieTales.
Dude, that's exactly what I thought.
Devin gets another point because he could name it. 2 points, Devin.
That's 3 in total.
You know, way back in the 90s, there were these things called payphones everywhere. If you were going to stop and use a payphone, how much money would you put in to make your call?
25 cents.
25 cents, you are correct. Does anyone know what would happen if you were making a long distance call and you had used up your funds?
Did they send you a bill?
No. If you wanted to keep talking, what would happen, Devin?
You would either hang up or you have to put another quarter in.
Yeah, the operator would come on and tell you how much more money you needed to pay to keep
I
talking.
watched a lot of movies.
Okay, guys, how many Pokemon are there? Multiple choice. A, 120.
Answer C.
The answer is not C, Devin. You're a little fast on the draw. Did anyone get it? Y'all want me to finish the question? Oh, Austin? It's not B.
Got it. I got it.
Tom?
Was it A?
No, there was an option D, and it was D.
No, it's always been 3.
All right, guys, next question. What football movie had the line, "Now that's some high quality H2O"?
Dude,
Devin.
no way.
The Water Boy?
Yes, the Water Boy. Very nice.
Movie all the time.
Okay, ready? Bonus point. Who did Waterboy love more than anyone?
His mom.
Very smart, nice. He's a smart kid. Gotta love mama, right?
So good at this,
All right, guys, so Devin's leading by a long shot. So I want to chunk the two of you a little lifeline. This last question is worth 6 points. All right.
Whoever wins.
Okay, who's ready? What NFL team is building a new stadium right now? Austin.
The Cardinals?
It is not the
I
Cardinals.
have no idea. I just tried to get points.
Tom?
Is it the Falcons?
It is not the Falcons. Devin?
There's only two teams.
I could have swore the Falcons had that.
The Rams.
Yes, the Rams is one. Yes, good job, Devin. Well, guys, it has been a lot of fun, and Devin, I must say, you are the MVP of the day. Nice job. Coach Brant, back to you.
Emily, great stuff as always. Really enjoy Senior Moments with you each and every week. But right now we go from Senior Moments to this week's Rangers Trivia. This week in Rangers Trivia, Smithson Valley has more wins against Canyon than they do versus any other team in program history with 19. How many games in a row have the Rangers won over the Cougars? Is the answer A, 12 straight wins, B, 14 straight wins, or C, 16 straight wins? The answer is C, 16 straight wins. Smithson Valley's win streak over Canyon stretches back nearly 25 years as the Rangers have not lost to the Cougars since 1995. Again, an impressive winning streak for the Rangers over the Cougars. So, Coach, yes, you've had the upper hand against Canyon over the past several years, dating back again to the mid-'90s, but you've had a lot of tight and competitive contests along the way.
There's no question, and those things can go in streaks one way or the other. So we're not too focused on what has happened. We're just trying to focus on this one, and they'll be all we can handle, I can assure you.
Well, the Rangers look for win number 17 in a row over the Cougars this Friday. A game we'll preview coming up right after this on Inside Rangers Football.
Building links between people. Connections are real, finite, tangible experiences, ones you'll never forget. GVTC understands and delivers connections for their customers every day. I'm Luke Gombert, and GVTC has me connected.
And welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Now we'll look ahead to Smithson Valley's next 26 6A game this Friday against the Canyon Cougars. And you look at the Cougars this season, Coach, and yes, the record is 0-4, but you take a closer look, and there have been a couple of one-score games in there against Georgetown Eastview and against Dripping Springs. This past week in their opener, their 26 6A opener against New Braunfels, they jumped out to an early 14-0 lead. So there's a lot more to this Canyon team than that 0-4 record says.
Well, and I think that's true in every game. There's always, you've got to dig deeper than record. Somebody may be undefeated, but may not be all that, and the other way around. But very explosive. Have shown the ability to get off to great starts, as you mentioned. I think the biggest thing that sticks out offensively is their ability, the number of one-play drives. They do a nice job of marrying up their play-action pass with their run game, and it's startling how many times the back gets loose for a 70-yard run and touchdown, or the hard run fake, bring everybody in, play one-on-one with the receiver, and he gets the 70-yard touchdown catch. And they've been able to do that against every opponent, all four opponents this year, and those are things that we've got to prevent. I mean, that goes without saying, but I'm sure it was gone without saying with those four opponents who were unable to do anything about it.
Yeah, you look at Canyon's offense this past week, a season-high 500 yards of offense against New Braunfels. They've scored 30 points or more now in 3 straight games. You mentioned the running back, Savion Jarrett. He's been a big threat in the backfield. And you have Callan Farr, wide receiver. He's a big play threat as well. You mentioned the need to eliminate the big plays. That's easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, no doubt, because of how they structure their offense. The things you do to take away the running game make you a bit vulnerable to the one-on-one throw. The receiver's excellent in one-on-one situations, and you say, well, let's get another body on him. Well, then you're one less against the run, and then you start seeing the back go 70. So, our strategy is probably not any different than the first 4. We're just going to have to try to do it better than they did.
Now, you look at the other side of the football, Canyon's defense. That's an area in which the Cougars have struggled this season. They've given up more than 40 points now in 3 straight games. And you look at the way Canyon lines up. It's a 3-4 defense for them. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and then the secondary. How do you go about attacking this defense?
Well, Midland Lee was a 3-4 defense, as was Madison. So we blocked it before, but theirs is a little different. They play their defensive ends inside a little bit more, try to force the ball outside. It's a little bit of an off-schedule defense, and for our guys to get ready to block that and to be successful against it, that's a tall challenge. They have getting into some wild shootout type scores, and their offense is sudden service and their defense is out there a lot, and I think that's contributed. But very big and strong up front with their TNT, and our style of offense, does it match up well with their style of defense? I think that's always an issue, and we'll have to see about that on Friday night.
This isn't just a 26-6A game. It is a Comal School District game as well between Smithson Valley and Canyon. A lot of these kids growing up with one another, going to camps together. I have to imagine there's a lot of familiarity between these two programs.
Yeah, we don't really focus on that too much. I think Canyon's case, they probably interact more with the New Braunfels kids than ours just because of the proximity of the two schools. But it is a Comal ISD battle, as you said, and a lot of focus on the game. But from our end, at least, we don't treat any different. Clemens game last week, or the East Central game to come, or whoever else we have to play down the road. So playing on a non-school day, it's a fair day holiday Friday. So handling the abnormal schedule, just things like that. And then just overall improvement has our attention this week.
And both teams, again, desperately trying to avoid 0-2 starts in a very difficult 26-6A district. What do you think Friday's game comes down to?
Well, we hit on it earlier, preventing their one play bundle plays, getting it all in one shot. I think that's key. And then, I think when we've been able to create explosive plays on our own, we've been better offensively. Didn't get as many of those the other night as in previous games. And, so explosives versus explosives, and then can we generate turnovers, whether it's defense, kicking game, or whatever. I think getting our offense some short fields, either through kicking game or turnovers or takeaways, that'll be a big key.
All right, Coach, good luck on Friday.
All right, thank you, Brant.
Again, it is Smithson Valley versus Canyon. It is a 7:30 kickoff from Cougar Stadium. A game we'll have for you right here on the Rangers Network. For head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.